Warren and all its people help us to make good decisions that will benefit our town and our state.
It's your local government at work. Live from City Hall in downtown Warren, this is the Warren City Council meeting on SalineRiverChronicle.com.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated. Madam Clerk, you call the roll.
Alderman Wilson.
Here.
Alderman Overy.
Present.
Alderman Reed. Alderman Mosley.
Here.
Alderman Henderson. Here. Alderman Burke.
Here. Note that a quorum is present. Alderman Reed is out. He gave me permission to say that he is out because of surgery, and he'll be back at the next council meeting, but that's why he can't be here tonight. We have approval of the minutes on the next item on the agenda is item 4.
I move
Approval
that
of
the minutes for October 9th be approved as mailed.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor raise your hand. I see 5 for, none against. Minutes are approved. Next item is City Clerk's report. Madam Clerk, the financial statements are ready if you be recognized at this time.
Okay, the balance in the general fund on October 31st was $300,538.19. Year-to-date revenues, $2,113,129. Expenditures by department are as follows. Administrative, $200,514.88. Law enforcement, $834,620.21. Fire, $192,758.06. Sanitation, $458,361.12. Building codes, $37,912.93. District Court, $61,936.60. Municipal Building, $22,847.06. Recreation, $129,208.26. Cultural Center, $34,409.89. The Armory Neighborhood Center, $7,738.20. Other, $106,686.79. And that's the year-to-date expenditures are $2,086,994. And that's an increase for the year of $26,135. The balance in the street fund on October 31st was $170,712.59. Year-to-date revenues, $419,669.31. Year-to-date expenditures, $461,584.18, and that's a decrease for the year of $41,914.87. The balance in the other accounts on October 31st was $1,975,071.45. Year-to-date revenue, $3,175,856.84. The expenditures or transfers out was $3,566,455.43. And that's a decrease for the year of $390,598.59. You should all also have a copy of the district treasurer's report.
I move that we accept the financial statement as read.
Second.
Motion and second to accept the financial statement. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor raise your hand. I see 5 for, none against. Madam Clerk, you recognize.
In October, we received $65,743.24 from the city's sales and use tax. The year-to-date total is $630,962.48, and we're down approximately $2,400 from the same period last year. And I just put these other things on the expenditures in there just for your information. You can look at it when you can. County sales and use, we received $50,268.29 in October. The year-to-date total is $431,653.36, and we're up almost $4,000 from last year. You have a copy of the district court clerk's report also. for the month of September.
Any discussion? Hearing none, item 6 is recognized. Any alderman are recognized to recognize the constituent.
Your Honor,
Talk free.
over the last, I guess, 2 months, when the mayor asked me, did I know anything about soccer, which I didn't. I asked Mr. Rusty Dinsmore to come down and one of his soccer players just kind of give us an update on the soccer season and anything else.
Rusty, if you come up to this podium right here, sir.
Come down, Miss Lewis. That's the smallest age group, I think. Isn't it, Rusty, 4-year-old?
Yeah. Well, actually, you can stand kind of right over there. You can see it.
Turn your jacket off so you can see your uniform.
Oh, boy.
Turn around.
We had soccer this season, and at the complex out here, we had roughly 140 participants from the ages 4 through 18. It was 98% Warren people in the program. We had a few area people. For our first year, I believe it was a huge success. We really touched a lot of kids, and a lot of kids had fun. We had a award ceremony. I believe it was November 3rd, where we had roughly 200 plus people at that awards assembly just to recognize the kids and their efforts that they've done. And I think overall it was a great success. Kids had a lot of fun. We're looking forward to doing probably a spring season starting in March. So we're going to try to keep it going every year, all year long.
That's wonderful.
We're hoping that as it grows, we can eventually start a place of our own, have a field of our own, and just kind of not get away from the complex or anything like that, but just so we used the baseball field a bit this year, and we don't want to, intertangle with them or mess anything up with them guys. We want to make sure that everybody has a choice and everybody has something that they can do and keep the kids active. So that's what we try to do.
Rusty, is there room to expand on the large soccer field on the west side into what you're talking about and getting those kids off of the ball field?
No, sir, because of the ponds and the retention that's on that end over there. We wouldn't want to build the actual length of the U18 field, which is the older group, is the size of the adult field that we're using.
Okay.
So we have much room to grow there. What we're kind of hoping and looking at is maybe moving to that area on behind the
The north side? Oh, on by the health department.
Yes, sir. That area that used to be used for baseball. It has lights over there and it has a lot of area over there. So maybe it's something we could look at too.
A lot of area there.
A lot of area.
Okay.
Thank you, Russ.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Anybody else? I've got some names on this.
That's all I have.
I'd like to recognize John Lipton with Economic Development with BCEDC.
Yeah.
Takes me a minute to get used to that name change.
Got a name,
Yes.
going from industrial to economic. What I'd like to just do is to really save time for Miss Lawhorn here tonight to tell you about a little bit of the activity. We are seeing some activity, thank goodness. Let me just say this, and then I'd like Miss Lawhorn to speak to you and let you ask any questions about really what's going on. But we have leased the land just due east of Fulgham Fibers. This was brought to us by a local industry. We will have coming in our midst. It'll be kind of starting out as a log yard, dry log yard, in conjunction with Clearwater, in conjunction with Fulgham Fibers, who's already there. And this will be a group known as Sorrells Lumber Company out of Benton. We leased them the land with the understanding they were asked about a purchase and to bring you up front if they bring a number of jobs a little later on. We did go ahead and tell them that we would enter into a purchase, allow them to purchase the land based on the number of jobs that were brought here as far as the purchase price is concerned. So that's encouraging. But there's a lot more going on. And if Donna could come up, Mayor, and kind of go through her activities. She's brought new life, and I hope you'll ask her any questions any of you might have, because things are beginning to happen. And I'd like to take a back seat and listen to folks.
All right. Donna, you're recognized.
First of all, I'm going to give everyone one of our newsletters. One of our topics. And there's some more on the back if anyone didn't get one.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, first of all, you mentioned our name change. I wanted to let everyone know that is official. That's the Secretary of State. We got the paperwork back on that. It is now Bradley County Economic Development Corporation. And our board voted to do that so that it would be more comprehensive of what we do, not just looking for industrial, but any economic development in the area. It's a little more descriptive. And also I wanted to let you know, I don't know if you'd heard about this or not, but back a couple of months ago, we did meet with a potential prospect that contacted us, came into the area, and Mr. Lipton and I took them out. We showed them 5 different locations that would be a good site for their industry, and they're still deciding. They haven't gotten back. They haven't picked any other area, so that's a good sign. So we're still in the running for that. So that's something else that's still out there that potentially can develop. And one thing that we're working on right now, trying to build up, is to reach out to the citizens, the residents of Bradley County, Warren. We want to let them know what we're doing. We want to listen to them. We want to have their feedback. And 2 of the ways that we're trying to do that, first of all, is with our newsletter. By getting that out, it's about the 5th month for that, I believe. And the board just voted to put our newsletter quarterly into the Eagle Democrat as an insert, so it can go out to everybody. And also in the Saline River Chronicle, we're going to put that quarterly so that people can see what we're doing. And we want their participation. We want people to come to our Monday morning meetings at 7 o'clock at Molly's. And the more people that comes to that, the more input we have, the more we know what the people are wanting. We can learn from them, they can learn from us. It's something that we're trying to do. And we are partnering with other organizations to better our development, I guess. But we're working with CBEC on the heavy equipment program, continuing on that. That's going well. They have about, I think they had about 30 students enrolled. Yeah. And we've been talking to Arkansas Economic Development Commission, and every time we talk to them, what I take away from the meeting is that they keep stressing that the workforce needs to be ready. When a prospect comes into the area, they want a trained workforce. And that's one thing I'm working with Ms. Reed with. They have the wage program, and they have the career readiness certificate program that they work with their students on. And they have the welding program, they have the heavy equipment. And I'm talking to the training department at AEDC, and he's doing some research for me right now, Steve Sparks. And he's supposed to be getting back with us to tell us what the industry in this area are looking for, and so that we can maybe put in place some other training programs. And he said there may be some grant money available for that to cover the expenses of that. Those are all things we're working on. Nothing's settled yet, but we're trying. We're working with UAM, Arkansas Small Business Development and Technology. I don't know if you've seen her ads. The last time I was here, I talked about that. Her free business consulting, it's Lindsay Henry from UAM. And she comes the 3rd Tuesday of every month, meets with clients. She meets with new businesses, people starting a business, or existing businesses. And she can do anything they need done. She's anxious, she's ready, she wants it done. And she's met with several clients. She's been coming back more frequently than once a month to meet with follow-up clients. And she has 2 clients right now who may be ready to open a business soon. They're getting close. And there's not going to be a lot of jobs involved, but, 2 jobs is 2 jobs. And from everything that AEDC tells me, that your best opportunity to grow jobs is with your existing industry, with your existing jobs. Your startup jobs grow into the better jobs. So, start with 2, maybe we'll get 30. Who knows? We can try. And on also, last time I was here, I discussed that at our board meetings every month, we're still meeting with the industries. In the newsletter, the first story is about that and has a list of the total employees for each industry that we've met with so far. Those are only the ones we've met with so far, and they'll be continuing the story, letting everybody know what the industries tell us. And we're continuing to meet with them every month. Then we're going to meet with the schools, the hospitals, human development, just the major employers in the area. This next month we'll be meeting with Dr. Barbara Jones from South Ark Community College. She's going to give us a program on what educational program she's going to be having here. Looking forward to that. I want to hear about that. So if we can work with her to get some additional training for the area. Intermodal facility is progressing. If you go out, you can see the work being done on that. It's visible. And lastly, I will be going on tomorrow, actually, to Fordyce. There's a grant application workshop is what it calls, being put on by AEDC, Arkansas Economic Development. And I'll be going to that, and then hopefully I'll be better equipped to search out grants and actually receive some. So that's what we're up to right now, but I'd be glad to answer any questions, have any comments, any concerns that y'all have.
I didn't hear clearly what John said about the sorrel. What's the name of it?
It's W.L. Sorrells, S-O-R-R-E-L-L-S, I believe, Sawmill out of Benton.
Sawmill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to use the property for a log storage right now, and they're going to be working closely with Fulton Fibers at this point. So, but hopefully they'll grow into something also. You're welcome. Anything else?
Any comments from the council? Questions? Don, thank you. That was a good report.
Okay, thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Under Mayor's report, you have the financial statement from from Bradley County Economic Development. And item B is the Christmas holidays. And we need a motion to have the Christmas holidays on December 24th and 25th.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to have the Christmas 24th and 25th. Any discussion?
That
Hearing-
is what the employees want.
Yes, ma'am. Always. And more discussion, questions? All those in favor, raise your hand. I see 5, 4, none against. Motion carries. Thank you very much. The next item is a request from the Chamber of Commerce for street closings for the Christmas parade. It's the same as the normal parade route. And we would need a motion to allow them to close the streets.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Fulton, second by Alderman Mosley. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor raise your hand. I see 5, 4, none against. Mr. King, you get your streets. I have a commission reappointment recommendation. Administration is to reappoint Murray Claycomb. I don't believe he's missed a meeting of the Aviation Commission.
Second.
A motion and a second to appoint Murray for 5 years on the Aviation Commission. All those in favor raise your hand. I see 5, 4, none against. Thank you. That's all in my report. Police Chief, you're recognized. You have his monthly report.
Is there a misprint on the front page?
Ma'am,
Do you have a misprint on the front page, or is that information correct?
which part of it?
All of it,
Well,
under personnel.
personnel correct. That's correct. That's an ongoing problem. I have this week talked to about 4 departments around the area, and with the exception of Monticello, everybody's having problems finding viable candidates for office. Give you an example. how we kind of stand. But the Game and Fish recently hired 17 new officers. And I talked to one of the people in their administration this last week, and he said they went through several hundred applicants to be able to fill those. It's a difficult task, and it's not something that just started. It's been going on forever. We do have a civil service meeting lined up for this coming Friday. I have one full-time position and one part-time position, and I'm going to try to fill. We continue to accept applications. In fact, we have advertised once again for the vacancies, and hopefully we'll get some more applications.
So overtime.
How many
was
applications
just
do you have now?
I have about 5 or 6, sir.
Okay, so you're the only one doing the screening, right?
Well, sir, I guess you could say that. I look at the applicants and make sure that, see if they're a viable candidate. If they are, they go forward. There's a liability issue on the city. You have to be very careful whenever you're screening these people to make sure you're getting good candidates. Just because a person puts an application in, of course, doesn't mean that they're hired.
Yeah, I realize that. The thing that bothers me about this, sir, is the lack of officers that you have, and then the fatigue problem that you have. If a person's working continuously long hours, has a tendency to stress them.
Well, what I have, and I agree with you, and that's a concern of mine, but what I have done to try to continue to give these officers their 2 days off. I mean, it's one thing to work these officers extended hours and not getting days off. There's another thing to give them, work them as much as you have to cover the basis, and that give them their days off. And I have gone to 12-hour shifts to cover that so that they can still, barring no major problems, they can still get their days off. So that's, I'm looking at anything and everything I can, and I'm hoping this will pass. We have been like this before, and it just takes time to try to find some good people to work with. And then retaining them is another thing. Once you get them in here, you got to be able to retain them, and that's another issue we deal with.
And competing on the pay scale with people like Game and Fish and UAMS that can pay a lot more than we
Oh
do.
yes, a lot more. That's
Department of
one of my statements, or one of my points I was trying to make. Monticello, of course, they got the tax money. They can pay a lot more money, and they never have an opening over there. They pay family insurance. It's just some things that we can't do due to our tax base and so forth. And we just have to do the best we can. But it's a great concern of mine, and I know it is of y'all's. It should be. But we'll continue to try to find the proper people to hire for the system. The very best we can find.
Alderman Fullerton, you recognize?
No business.
Thank you, sir.
One
You
thing
did
I
say
would-
you had gone to 12-hour shifts.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That is patrol. Patrol's going to 12-hour shifts. One of the things I would like to make the council aware of, I think it came up here a couple months ago about our protective vest. And I was having a problem getting the cruise uniforms down here from Little Rock to get our people measured. They were all measured on October the 23rd, and the vests have been ordered. And the ones who were measured that left have been canceled. So we should have some vests. I think he said it'd be about 6 weeks before the vest would be in. Hopefully we will have those soon.
What about the cameras in the car?
The cameras are in the car, all in operation. We did have a problem, and I got one Reynolds Radio. We bought them local so that we could hopefully have the best service. We had a problem with a couple of them. They have been sent back. We have one of them that has come back from the factory. It's working perfectly, and we're hoping to get the other one in the next day or two. The policy is in effect, and since the cameras, we have not, at this point, we have not had a complaint. So I'm hoping that eliminates a lot of time, unnecessary time spent on things that's not important.
And we do still honor the noise ordinance.
Yes, ma'am, we do.
What was your question?
In fact,
Do we still honor the noise ordinance that's on the
there were
books?
some tickets issued here a week or so ago. And we continue to enforce that like all the laws. But the problem we run into a lot of times, we get a call on the loud music, by the time we get there, it's stopped. And unless we hear it, it's hard for us to take any action. Now, a citizen can sign a citation themselves. Most of the time, we have started not putting it over the scanner, and now we're being able to get there without the people knowing that we're on the way. So it has enabled us to issue a few citations, otherwise probably would not have issued.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Fire Chief Edwards, you're recognized. You have his report. In the absence of any questions, any questions for the fire chief? Or you want to wait till we get into this truck? All right. In the absence of Alderman Reed, Alderman Mosley has agreed to be the service chair of the fire committee.
Yes,
Alderman Mosley, you are recognized.
Mr. Mayor, the fire committee met this afternoon with Marty asked to do this surgery, but in looking at these bids, everyone has a copy of them, and it's the committee's recommendation that we accept the bid of the Deep South fire trucks. That bid is a little bit more money than the lowest bidder, but with explanation from the fire chief, might make it more understandable if anybody had a problem in not accepting the lower bid. So with that, the fire committee wants to recommend the council accept this Deep South for this rescue truck, accept that bid. I so move.
That's a motion, that's a committee recommendation. It requires no second, so it is on the floor for discussion. It's $118,830. There is a $50,000 grant from USDA that will go toward this, and the other $68,830 will pay from city sales and use tax, and probably finance part of it. I'd like to leave that open to the administration till we see how the next year budget plays out. The financing won't need to take place for another 30 days. So, I mean, the recommendation would be to purchase the truck, but that's how I intend to pay the balance of it. We need to finance it over a period of time, take it out of general. It's my opinion that you have the money in the bank, and I think it'd probably behoove us to go ahead and not pay any interest and just pay for the truck. But I wanted to have the next year's budget in place before we make that final decision. Y'all are familiar with the truck. We've been over it 2 or 3 times with what all it entails. It can be used to help lower our fire ratings when we reapply. So we'll give you one more piece of equipment to help toward that. There are obviously other issues that will need to be done. So that is a motion. Any discussion?
You said this is not the lowest bid, right?
It's $1,600 higher than the other bid. The Deep South Fire Trucks company we're familiar with, and they're from Mississippi, and the fire chief and captain in the fire department are very familiar with this guy's equipment and feel more comfortable with it.
And this is the committee's.
Committee, and it is a committee recommendation.
I understand what you're saying, but you know, we got into a situation before about taking the highest bid over the low bid, and I just kind of have a problem with that too. It has to be something justifiable because, you know, if you want competitive bidding, you want everybody to feel free if it's on the same level playing field. That's all I'm saying.
I understand
And
that.
I don't wanna, you know, because something has happened in the past where we took the higher bid over the low bid. But what was the reason why? That's all I'm saying. Just wanna be fair, that's all. Because after a while, you might not getting biddings from different agents.
Well, this particular manufacturer that was chosen is closer, so you have an easier repair on the truck.
Okay, but can
That's
you give?
one issue.
I mean, as far as giving a reason why we took the,
That would be one of the reasons,
okay,
would be ease of repair.
I'm sure you all discussed it in your committee meeting.
We
did you
did.
not?
We did.
At length.
This company that's far away, I know nothing about. No more than the spec sheets they sent us back from our original wants and specs. I just have no relationship with them. With this Deep South and Pierce and Sunbelt and people like that, and we go to our fire convention, these people are up there showing their equipment and everything, so we have had a visual of some of their work. And so, other than that, you know, any one of them appears to be nice, but it's $157,000, you know. A little high for our budget, you know, so we thought that the 118 would be a fair choice, and I did know the company, and I know Pierce, and I know Sunbelt, which Sunbelt had a bid that came in, but it was late, so we didn't get to look at it, so I don't know what it was.
It's a committee recommendation.
I think you're wise to take a company that you're familiar with or that you have some input about what you can expect from.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, the chief told us in the meeting that he is, at the conventions, this Deep South, and I believe he said the Pierce Manufacturing, the Extremely High Bid, have both had equipment at these conventions. And maybe not this exact type of equipment, but other equipment, and he feels like he's real comfortable with the type of equipment these people manufacture. And we did discuss not accepting the low bid. I understand what Alderman Burks is saying, that if you do this, then the next time you go out for bid, that's one less bid you may not get.
well, I'm just saying, why take bids if you just wanna go? If you have this, if, you know, we looking at the same, if you look at the quality of the equipment, if there's a difference in the quality of the equipment and things of that nature, have we sat and talked with these folks? That's all I'm saying.
Well, if the people did it right, it should have been bid per the specifications, so the equipment could be equal. It's just that, just like I said, the familiarity with this other company, the closer proximity, if we need a service on
Well, how
it.
far is this other place?
Don't, other than I just say that Kansas is further away, where Sedgwick, Kansas is further away than.
Do they have representatives in Arkansas?
No, fire chief. No. The other one had a sales rep.
Yeah, that he showed up for the bid opening, and I thought that was good.
Was it a unanimous committee recommendation?
Yes.
I call for the vote.
Question's been called. All those in favor of accepting Deep South Fire as recommended by the committee, raise your hand. I see 4 for. Those against, 1 against. Motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Sanitation manager recognized. his monthly report. And he sold some cardboard this month.
Almost $3,000 worth of cardboard.
We still have
Another
coming. We sold some last week, so we still have another payment that hadn't been received yet. Usually takes them about 3 weeks to 4 time to pay.
Sanitation committee chairman recognized.
No business this time, man.
Building official report. Any questions on the building official report?
Not necessarily on the building official report. You remember a while back, I guess that was the corner of Womble and Myrtle Street when we had that application for a garage over there. And since then, it's just kind of got out of hand. And the people want to know that we give a pass to him not to clean that up since it just didn't got out of hand so fast.
Haven't given pass to anybody as far as cleanup property goes. No.
Okay.
What kind of pass?
I don't know just what they was asking me because they said it started out real good, and then all of a sudden it just no respect for us and our ruling. And that's it. I'd ask.
Any other discussion? Thank you, Mr. May. Street foreman is off on vacation. Street committee, Alderman Burks is recognized.
I have nothing to discuss.
Log truck issue will remain. Community and economic development, Alderman Topri.
I guess it's on the community economic development side. Matter of fact, I know it is. I've been receiving a lot of complaints here lately about the issue of community and economic development tax and how we was using it and spending it in our budget and as far as the return on it. And I still tried to get across to the people that to do anything in the 21st century, you kind of got to pay your way to begin with, and we don't have any other means of paying that with matching funds and anything else. But with that tax, and it's a very important thing to the city. And they realized that, but they didn't feel like that we was coming through on our end since they had came to visit us a time or two on these issues. And I personally, through the waters being muddled some kind of way because their facts and figures sometimes don't quite meet with the ones that we have here. And then therefore, a lot of times you get into the rumor mill on the ones that don't really come to the meetings. And therefore, you get that public perception that we're not good stewards of their money. And I don't know how anybody else do business, but anytime you give somebody something to do something with it and then you don't do what they think you need to be doing, that's a disgruntled customer. And it's already tough enough, and I just feel like that if we pay special attention to this in our budget as far as the things that we okay and go down through, and also at the same time, like Ms. Donna said, I was kind of impressed with that. It's really not up to them to seek us out at this point because we need all of us. And first of all, before we go out and recruit anybody to come to this community, I think first of all we need to look at our own community so we can be a community. Because so many times I become seeing many issues and splitting the voter base around here. And we're too small to be split. And so I think we need to be cognizant of what they're saying and what they're wanting, because sometimes the two are in the same as what we want to do. And it's getting to the crunch time on this, and it's time for us to kind of things we have on the table, so to speak, that we need to get them off of there and show them we are moving ahead.
So do we need to know precisely what the complaints are?
Well, you remember last year at this time, we had a group of businessmen that was coming in complaining about the monies that we spent doing economic development. And they hadn't went away. As a matter of fact, I think they're picking up and getting other ideas from other people on things that they can do to counteract the things we do. And I don't think we need to let it get to the point. I would like to be proactive on these type issues as far as a council member and show them that we're not resting on our laws and we just take them for granted. That's all I have, man.
Any other discussion? All right, Ways and Means Committee. Alderman Henderson, you recognize.
We do have 2 items listed on the agenda. One is the 2013 budget, and the other one is the Christmas bonuses. The Ways and Means Committee did meet on October the 23rd here in the municipal building. We, at that time, reviewed the current budget that we have in place, and we also reviewed requests from individuals that are requesting dollars from the city of Warren. And it was very interesting to look at those numbers. The 2013 requests came to $369,705, and our projected sales tax economic development was $376,812, and there was not a lot of room there with funds left over if we were to grant all of those requests. And then today, when we arrived, Jeannie was kind enough in her report to include our city sales and use tax, and then she goes on to share the expenditures from all of 2012 going into how much, thank you so much, going back to the year of 1995. So I asked each of you to review this information. It goes from 95 up until actually where we are today as it relates expenditures. And it is real good to see where we are with funding. Joel, this will probably help some of the individuals that have been contacting you to actually see the dollar amounts for the various entities that the city of Warren has contracted out with. And at this time, if you would look in your packet and you will see the Christmas bonuses. There are no changes recommended from last year, from 2011. Individuals less than 1 year and elected officials $110. 1 year but less than 5 years, $200. 5 years but less than 10 years, $300. 10 years but less than 15 years, $400. 15 years but less than 20 years, $500. 20 years and over, $600, giving a total for bonuses of $13,650. Adding the FICA, $1,044.23. Retirement, $1,943.76. Total, $16,637.99. And I move that we approve the Christmas bonuses for 23rd as read.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the Christmas bonuses. We do have the money available. All those in favor, raise your hand. I see 5, 4, and none against.
And
Alderman Henderson.
that ends the Ways and Means Committee report. Jeannie, thank you so much for this.
Well, I thought I was
Yes.
working on the budget that you can put there.
Yes, it is very helpful.
Very good.
Mr. Mayor, I know this might sound crazy to y'all, but I wonder how much money we're missing on not having package stores in Warren. You know, the thing that I see all over town, I see all these Bud Light cans in these ditches
What about the wine bottle?
and wine bottles. I say, good gracious alive, and we're not getting a penny off of it? That's tax money. And we're talking about, oh, go ahead. I mean, that's crazy. I just came up and picking up cans all over everywhere. And that's tax money that's going somewhere else.
Are you proposing liquor stores in Warren,
I'm not
Arkansas?
saying it could be in stores or whatever, but it needs to be somewhere that we can see something out of what we're picking up. You know, these folks going around picking up cans and everything else. There's more Bud Light. You find more Bud Light cans and Miller Lite cans in ditches than you're going to find Coke cans. Just look around your town and see. You go around, these people got these big places, baskets, some more beer cans. I don't understand it. They're just losing money.
Where they coming from, brother?
They're probably coming from, some of them are coming from the bootlegger that comes in from Dallas County and Drew County and Cleveland County, Jefferson County. But that's taxpayers' money. Oh, you got all these deer hunters in town now. That money's, it came from somewhere. I mean, they got plenty of it down to deer camp, I guarantee. We're not getting a penny off of it.
What's a growing number of people have been asking me about it the whole while. Some of them even in the courtroom now. They just, I don't have a good answer for them.
Why,
Well, I mean, that's just, I just said to say, okay, marvel about it. I mean,
does it not
I
take
just don't
someone to get a petition signed, and I don't know all the requirements of how many signatures and so forth, registered voters, and a wet, dry issue go on the ballot? Is that not the only way you can?
That'd be the way you do it. It's done by township, and if Mr. Burks and Mr. Tolfree want to lead that
I don't-
petition, that
I
would be
mean,
up to them
I'm just
to lead
saying.
that.
I would, the people I represent, I would be doing them a disservice if I wouldn't say that I would leave it, even though I've done research on it, asked leaders in the community, and some of them feel like it would split the community and a few other things, but I keep in mind who I represent. And I was proposed the question the other day, how would I feel if my kids had to be around drugs and liquor? And I had to catch myself before I snapped. You can leave my house and take 15 to 20 steps, and my kids are faced with everything in the world. So it goes back not to the issue of what they was faced with. It's simply the point, what have you raised them to believe in? And sometimes we get the issues confused. And like I say all the time, I would be doing a disservice to the people if I would say that I wouldn't support it on the people that I represent. And I kind of pride myself on that when I'm not doing their bidding, to get somebody else to sit back right here. I mean, that's a vote too. And the thing is, what sometimes it's not what Joel Tolfree said. It's what the people are warned of asking for and not receiving a good thing, because there is pots of money that we are fighting over for the BCIDC, the Chamber of Commerce, and not to even mention the monies that are wasted at Kids First. We got so many other things that cause things to fall off in the coffer of the systems, and we suck the taxpayers dry for supporting them type things. But if you look on the education side and on the Kids First, how many crack babies or alcoholic that was born into this world, and where are the funds coming from to try to take these things? You know, I would like to try to simulate something such as the cigarettes, for instance. They tax cigarettes every time you turn around now, just because it's an easy target to tax, and you're going to have any pushback from it because you have Mad Mothers Against Drunk Drivers that have really made an effort in that thing. And then, too, also at the same time, let's not keep our heads in the ground. You have dollar stores, which we are dollar store kings, I thought, around here for a long time, that are doing package stores. You know, you don't go and see a bunch of drunks and things down the street. It's another thing to that. But just for us to sit up here and want to say that we are a dry county, it's a joke. Because you can go anywhere you want to and get a 30-pack within 3 minutes from the courthouse. Not only that, I mean, you get to now, well, some people just make their orders. And they even got fights in other counties saying that they don't want us to do this. They do because they're going to put money into us because they would have to go out of business. And say what you want to say about me, but the thing about it is, people are not stupid, and they know what they want, and they're going to get it. And as long as it's legal, I don't know why they couldn't be heard for that. And then what I really like about it, it doesn't matter what color you are, where you believe in, or what church you go to. You hear that coming from a lot of people. And I rest my case on that. And then that's the thing about it is, I always believe in grabbing the low-hanging fruit. And then another thing about this is, we're kidding ourselves if we're not breeding situations in the community where we're going to always have cesspools where people are going to get together and make plans on going up above the state trooper office and robbing somebody blind to support different habits. I mean, they have come that brazen and bold to go right by a state trooper's office and rob somebody of four-wheelers, log splitters, and of this thing. I mean, we totally missing the boat on this. And then we're sitting here and talk about how we are underfunded with police officers and how we're not able to pay them. These are parts of money that we could use to designate for those type things. And say it as you may, but if we don't start listening to the people out there that we're supposed to represent, sooner or later, you're going to get some stupid, somebody that's going to start that thing like they started today on the Facebook or internet, whichever it was, with people that want to leave the state of Arkansas and start their own government. I mean, come on, that was one of the most, I just can't think of a word to say behind something like that, but believe this, ignorance is a disease. And we got a disease that's been breeded around here. We want to hide our heads in the ground about it. But then the thing about it is, it's not really bothering the majority of us because we don't have to step over in that cesspool. And every day I wake up, I have to step out there in it. So we're kidding ourselves if it's not already here. But then we're also doing a disservice to the people that at least I represent if we don't try to capture that income to do some good with it, instead of trying to think that the police is going to be able to stop something like that, and which I know of, I've seen in the reports, and me reading my reports, that we've even scratched the surface on things like this. But economics, I found out in the U.S. government, a lot of times we don't go around fighting a whole lot of people, but when we shut them down on the price competition and things like that, I would imagine that if I wanted a six-pack and it was going to cost me $7 at one place, but I can go one place and get it for $3, I imagine I'm going to get it for the $3. And there's no way that I feel somebody can do something underhanded like that and just get away scot-free and cause problems in the community the way they are and not being able to pay for any of the recovery. You know, that even affects our school scores when we have kids going in like that. So what kind of thing have we got together to try to counteract these type things? Because they're out there. I mean, I deal with them every day, and then people look at me crazy when they say, well, yeah, Joe, why you do? I mean, just come over in my neighborhood. We force people to clean up these lots, but then at the same time, we just have empty lots, and here we have got a housing developer to come into the city of Warren, and we still hadn't scratched the thing because we got it in the wrong place and people don't want it there. People in my ward want good housing. Bring it over there. We won't fight about it. And this very same issue that we're fighting about right now is going to be something that I could see would kind of divide a few people, because the ones that are totally against it will be just like a few other situations that we're faced in here. As long as they're kept in the back room, it's nobody's problem. But when you get outside in the sunlight, where do you really stand? And I stand for the people I represent. And if I'm misrepresented, I would hope they would have enough gumption about themselves to get a representative in there and take my spot. And I surely wouldn't oppose them for doing that. Because in my world, when somebody's not doing something you're hiring them to do, you fire them. And it don't have a thing to do with being friends or being enemies. It's just business.
Nine A's called. Planning Commission, there's no meeting. Aviation, 9B's call, there's no meeting. Water and sewer, you got the minutes of the monthly meeting and the balance sheet. Parks and Rec, there's nothing, you heard the report on the soccer. Housing Authority, you have the minutes of the monthly meeting, their Twin Rivers board meeting, and their audit was in your packet. Cultural Center you have in your packet, the city paid no money this month. The sign for the Warren ball players I presented to you, and we're working out the size issue. It'll be a green sign with those two guys' names on it. It'll be a sign that can be added to with any other person's name, and we're working out the lettering size and the actual size of the sign it needs to be. So I wrote 48 by 80 on it, and maybe that'll help you. Public statements, new business, announcements, need a motion to pay the bill.
Move that we pay the bills.
Second.
Motion and second to pay the bills. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your hand. Need a motion, the meeting's gonna be December.
Well, I wasn't voting to pay the bills, man.
Oh, okay. We have 4. We have against?
We're not doing what people say with their money, so I'm against it. I mean,
Against.
till we try to do
Keeping the
something
city
other than what
solid.
we're doing.
Mr. Coltree against keeping the city solid. Need a motion to adjourn.
Move that we adjourn.
Motion, and there's a second.
Second.
All in favor, stand.
Yes, ma'am.